Good morning.
Good morning.
Today is August 20th, Saturday, August 20, 2011, Saturday. I'm interviewing Dr. Subrata Saha in New York. Dr. Saha, tell me, what is your desh?
Oh, I was born in which is now Bangladesh. We used to live in Kushtia, which used to be originally part of Nadia district, but
Yes.
Kushtia became a district by itself.
Okay.
My grandfather or my father's house was stationed next to Kushtia, which is called Jogoti.
Okay.
And my mother's family was from Kumarkhali, which is the station after Kushtia.
It's a railway station, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So going north from
Going
Calcutta
towards Dhaka, yeah. I think
towards
that was,
Dhaka. Yeah, towards
away from India. so-
Hardinge Bridge.
Yeah.
and
right,
that way, yeah. So did you? Was it a village or was it in a town?
Kushtia that became the
Kushtia,
district
you say.
headquarters, and Jagoti, and they were smaller towns, yes.
Okay. So how far was it from Kushtia town?
Oh, not very far. I don't know. One railway station, hard for me to remember. Maybe
So
10 miles or
how
something like that.
how did you used to go?
Oh,
Did you used to go to Kushtia by train only or by road?
well, we
also?
grew up in Kushtia.
Okay.
And, that's where my father used to practice.
Oh, your
He was
father
a doctor, yeah.
He's a doctor, medical
Right.
doctor, and but how was Jogoti? Jogoti, right?
Jagoti was, yeah,
was
yeah,
your
it was
house like?
sort of a village. No, they were both landlords. My grandfather rather, you know. So they own big houses and they had lots of lands.
It's a brick and concrete building.
Yeah,
Big
brick
building.
and concrete
And
building.
how? So tell us a little bit about the village. How was the village life? You remember?
Well, we never lived in the village. You know,
Okay.
we'll visit my grandparents
They
during
used to
puja
live.
or something. Yeah,
Grandparents.
yeah,
What?
yeah.
Okay. And how was the house like? Can you give us a little bit of description?
Yeah, their house is, I think, 3-storied high. It's huge, quite very large.
Very large.
Because they were the landlords. They and one of their relatives, Pramaniks. Those two, I think, used to own most of the villages, you know, properties. Not most, but at least fair amount.
Lot
yes,
amount.
yeah.
They used to raise crops and stuff like. Was it?
Yeah, they had other people
working
they
for
had,
them.
you know, mango gardens and this and that, quite a few, yeah.
Now, how many generations they lived in Jogoti?
How many? That, several generations.
Several,
More than I know. Yeah.
Times zero. Huh?
Yeah.
Now, is it a mostly Hindu village or mixed village? Or
I think when we lived there, I don't know the percentage, but most of the landowners were Hindus, yeah.
Okay. Even some poor people and workers were Hindus too?
Both, yeah, Hindu, Muslim, both were there. That's my guess. Yeah.
Okay. And how was your place in Kushtia?
Oh, we had a rented house. My father was, I think he used to be considered one of the best doctors there. So,
Okay. What was his name?
Jaladhar Saha,
Jaludar. And your mother's name?
Sushama Saha.
Sushma. She used to be a doctor. She used to be a housewife.
She was housewife. Yeah.
Okay. So tell us about your growing up in Kushtia. How was it like?
Well, my parents knew, I think they originally used to think that because Aurobindo said it will be one country, so they didn't want to move. That's why even though partition was 47, finally I think they moved in 57.
Why so?
After 47, I think in about 50, 51, refugees came from Bihar or West Bengal. They essentially occupied our ancestral homes and all that.
Really?
Yeah, so our grandfather essentially left all the property.
And they
so
became
they came
homeless?
from one side. Well, they moved to India.
Yeah, but essentially homeless. That means they left their home.
They had to then rent in India. They come. My father, because he was his patients were the district magistrate, SDO, and all that. So he had that influence to have them so that they can at least go to India.
Okay. I mean,
with
so
some,
he had to he had to exert some influence so that your grandparents could go to India.
Yeah, and at least they will not be. They left all their landed property and furniture and all that, but they at least they take some ornaments and those things. My mother and father actually transferred that because otherwise could carry it through the train to India. Otherwise, the people would be searched and they might even confiscate some of those things. Yeah.
So when did your grandparents leave? Did they leave before your parents?
Yeah, they left before our parents.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you know if the situation became a little tense or anything? They had any difficulty?
Yeah, I mean, nobody would like to be. I think what I was told that refugees came from one door and they had to leave through the other door.
Oh, really? It was that. Have you ever? Did you ever go back to visit your that?
No, my parents knew that we will study in India ultimately.
Okay.
So we never really went to school in Bangladesh. So we had a private tutor.
Oh, how?
They will up to 9th grade.
Were you up to 9th grade?
Yeah.
You studied at home.
At home.
Oh.
So
Homeschooling.
they will get the syllabus from a school in India,
Mm-hmm.
and then they will buy those books.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll study according to that standard because they knew that ultimately we'll come.
Oh, okay.
So we came at about 9th grade. I think I came to Ranagat, which is a part of Nadia district,
Yes.
and went to. They said they will not accept anybody in 9th grade, only in 8th grade, I think. So
Okay.
I think I lost 1 year there.
Oh, you did.
So we were staying with a relative in Ranagat for 2 years till finishing high school. Our parents came 2 years later.
Oh, so how did you come? How was the journey? How many brothers and sisters, by the way?
Well, we were born 8 brothers and 4 sisters,
Okay.
very large family. But
Okay.
me and my oldest sister came to India to study first.
Okay.
Others came when my parents came.
Or you're the oldest, or you're the
Sister
middle?
was the oldest,
And
and
then
I
you're
am the
next to-
next. Yeah.
So how was the journey like from Kushtia to Ranagat? Do you remember?
Yeah, it is always you are worried about uncertainty, whether the train will really go, who will be in the border,
You
what
took the train? You
yeah,
took the
always
train?
the train. Yeah.
And so you crossed Darshana,
Darshana, yeah.
and so how was the situation like? In
Well, we
57?
are in the only about 8th grade, 9th grade. So, in the beginning, of course, my parents came with us first time. Yeah.
First, you came with your parents.
Yeah.
And okay.
And then they went back. They dropped
Okay.
us with a relative to go to school in India.
Okay. What was the relation?
One was my distance cousin. And one was further distant. My sister stayed with one family. I stayed with another family.
Okay.
So that's a little bit fairly demanding and trial. Sort of, you know.
Yeah. So your sister was then roughly what age? Your sister was then roughly what age?
Well, she was 2 years older than me,
Okay.
so she was
Teenager.
1 grade higher. Yeah.
Teenager. So, but going back to your place in Kushtia, so you studied at home, all of the brothers and sisters?
Yeah. Mhm.
Nobody went to
Well,
school?
I'm not totally sure. Later on, whether they went to school in India, in Bangladesh or not. Well, many of them are much younger.
Okay.
When my parents 2 years later came, then of course they went to school in India.
Okay.
Yeah, they first came to Kachra. My father could not come without his service or a job because we didn't have no savings, and with all these brothers and sisters. So he took a position in a mill as a doctor in India. Then that was in Kachrapara.
Okay.
Then we moved to Halishahar. Then we moved to Garden Reach. Then we moved to Noihati because he changed job a few times. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, how was the society like when you grew up in Kushtia?
We had some. We used to little bit of play. I mean, we essentially stayed home. My parents didn't want us to.
Were your neighbors mostly Hindus or Muslims?
No, actually the house we were renting, the landlord who used to live in second floor, we were in the first floor. He was Muslim,
Okay.
and there was neighbors who were Muslims.
Okay. So you had quite mixed upbringing in that sense.
Yeah, sure.
So were there any difficulty or tension with that, because before you left or after you left, or
Not
before?
directly with them.
Not with them. I mean,
yeah.
in the society in general.
Yeah, we heard enough incidents where there were atrocities on Hindus.
Did you?
And when the Hindus will go to get some help from the authorities, there was very little recourse. Yeah.
Okay. There were attacks on them. Your parents heard or you heard?
Sometimes, I guess. I mean, that was so long ago. I don't remember too much. Yeah.
But of course, you stayed until 8th grade, so you're a teenager.
Yeah.
You know. So, but did you used to you never used to go out for shopping or go out for
Oh yeah, we
movies
would go out
or
shopping. Yeah, we did that. I think there was a cotton mill at Kustia. That was one of the largest employers. Is it cotton mill? Oh no, it is sugar mill, I think. That was owned by Marwaris or Hindus, not by Muslims at least. But my father, had a dispensary and all that. So there was not that much friction that I can remember, even though Hindus knew that they will have very little voice.
But then, if life was pleasant, why do you think your father decided?
Well, because they knew that the future was not there
And
for
of
the
course,
children. Yeah.
and of course, your grandfather had to leave, so that itself was a big thing too, right? Probably. What about your other relations? Did they still live there, or
No,
they migrate?
everybody left. Yeah.
Everybody left. So you were the last, or there were people who left after you?
My parents were, I would say, because he was not that afraid of persecution and others, because he had his patients were fairly high officials in the district, so they were one of the last. Yeah, most of the Jogoti, Kumarkali, they left earlier. Yeah,
And
Kumarkali might have left even at the same time, a little later. My mother's father, the grandfather, he was actually an honorary district magistrate. They also had a huge big house, and SDOs and district magistrate will come all the time, and so on.
What was their name, you remember?
Rabindranath Saha.
Rabindranath Saha.
His brother was a doctor, who is my Chuddadu Jiragamuli. So they had a very big house. So far I hear that now that house the river has sort of broken away. They also are fairly landed property and one of the biggest house, I think, in that town or that village.
But they also had to leave. Were there any incidents, if you recall?
I don't think there was any incident, but they also knew that they will not really have much recourse of the rights, so they left here.
Okay, and their home, did you know if
I know my grandfather didn't get any compensation from my father's side. My mother's side, I think, did get much later on, got some compensation, but not very much.
Sort of token, or really?
I don't know the detail, but I know that nothing like proportional to what the value their property cost. Yeah.
So your transition, your father brought you to Ranaghat first time, and they left you there, and then after 2 years your parents came. So,
right.
So how did you keep in touch with them? Did you?
We kept in touch. I mean, I don't remember.
You'd send money or something to support you?
No, because we stayed with a relative. I had a scholarship in the school or something like that. But he will bring patient to Calcutta even before the partition sometimes. So once in a while, he will bring one patient, and then they might stop by, something like that.
Okay.
It didn't happen too often, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then after 2 years he moved to Kanchrapara?
Right.
Now could he negotiate a job before coming?
Yeah, before coming.
So did he make a trip to look for the job or something?
Something like that, perhaps.
Something,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And so then when he moved to Kanchrapara, you all moved with him?
Well, by that time I was already in college, so I stayed with another relative in college, in Calcutta itself.
Where did you study?
Well, first intermediate was in Vidyasagar College, and engineering is in Bengal Engineering
College in Shibpur. When did you join Vidyasagar College?
57. 57 to 59. Yeah.
59. So 59 you joined Bengal Engineering College. Okay. So by that time your parents have already.
Yeah, they came by the time I graduated from high school. Yeah.
High school.
By the time I graduated from high school. Yeah.
High school. Okay. So when you went to Vidyasagar, where did you stay?
We stayed with my Mashima in
mother's
Calcutta.
sister.
Mother's sister.
So Vidyasagar is in North Calcutta, right?
North Calcutta.
Yeah. And your Mashima used to live in Calcutta as well?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so they were also refugee?
Well, sort of. They were actually original from Dhaka area, Bhagokul. Bhagokul used to be a very rich family in those days called Roys. What I've been told that they even loaned money to the British government once.
Yeah, Bhagokul and Jomidar landlord we heard.
But they always had, I think they used to have 500 houses in Calcutta. But there was like Shorikani Je, Mamla Famla, I think they had a lawsuit for 22 years. Ultimately, there was only one house left or something. Only lawyers become rich in the process. But they used to go to Bhagakul, but they really were already settled in Calcutta.
At least they had a shelter.
Property and some other activities and all that.
Like many, now, how was your new residence in Kachrapada?
Oh, we just, I mean, it was a standard house we rented, upstairs, downstairs.
That's two floors. And
2 floors, yeah.
2 floors. And Kachrapada is not that far from Calcutta.
Right.
And what about when you lived with your cousin for 2 years? How was he? I mean, was he a rich man, poor man?
No, he was also a teacher in school.
Okay.
So they had a rented house, then they were building a house.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in
Ranaghat.
Ranaghat, yes. Did you ever suffer any discrimination in India as a refugee or anything?
No, not really. Of course, if you are dependent, staying with the relatives, then it's not the same as you are staying in your own house.
No, but that's there. But I'm talking about more institutional. I mean, or
not that I remember
from the society. Now, can you think as to why people like minority Hindus from Bangladesh, East Pakistan had to flee, but really the Muslims from West Bengal, Muslim minority from West Bengal didn't flee to go to Bangladesh? Why is this?
Actually, the refugees who came occupied our houses in ancestral home. I think some of them were from Bihar, some of them might have been from West Bengal. But a lot of Muslims, when we stayed in Garden Reach in West Bengal, majority was Muslims there. And surprisingly, that if there is a game between India and Pakistan, there will be Pakistani flags.
They support
Pakistan. There was far more allegiance for Pakistan from the Muslim population in India.
Yet they didn't leave India.
Yeah, they did not leave. Well, my guess would be that because they had all the rights and they could get jobs, they were not shunned by the state as was the case in Bangladesh.
Oh, I see. But of course, technically, Bangladesh or East Pakistan immediately, theoretically, they couldn't shun you, but in reality they did. That means, although it became part of Pakistan, it didn't say that Hindus couldn't get jobs.
No, they didn't say that, but there was, incidents, so people do get scared that if you don't have a recourse to law and order.
Have you ever visited back your home in Kushtia?
Not since my parents came, no.
Just that, never? No?
Yeah.
Okay. Did they ever want to go back to visit your ancestral properties? And
I think my mother had some interest like that. It just didn't happen.
It didn't happen. So nobody, and none of your brothers and sisters ever felt like that. Now, when people ask you in this country, what's your homeland? What do you say?
Oh, I say I'm from India, but I do say sometimes that I was born in India, but which is now Bangladesh.
Yes. But of course, you are in such a high position. You're such a renowned man in your field. So both the nations probably should be proud of you. But of course, all 3 nations. But of course, India pulls you more than Bangladesh.
Yeah, obviously, because all the relatives are relative. Now they live in India. So yeah.
Do you think can Hindus and Muslims live together?
Yeah, that's possible.
Possible. But why not then for your family?
Well, if the government policy have to change, not only government, the population's policy also have to change. The Muslim countries have to give equal rights to minorities. Then that would be.
So, but then isn't that there are too many ifs? If not,
yeah, there are too many ifs. Sure. Yeah.
If not,
yeah. I haven't seen any signs of any Muslim country where non-Muslim have same rights. Yeah.
Okay. Do you socialize with Hindu, Muslims, Christians, and others now?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay. I'm almost to the end. Is there anything else you like to add that I have not asked you, or it comes to your mind that you like to say? From your home, from here, from anywhere.
I see. No, nothing particularly. I mean, U.S. is of course a very open country. That's everybody gets attracted, comes here, and I don't know who will enforce the equality or at least encourage it. If there is a universal, if there's a very strong UN who had the manpower, military power, others, I don't think it will happen. I wish it would. That will have a better chance to address some of the issues. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.